Now on CoastTV News.
Watch for fog and limited visibility this morning. Otherwise, more showers during the day and still that chance of some storms in the next few days. And they linger into a part of the weekend, then starting to dry out. Your full forecast details coming up next.
GOP pressure.
You cannot divorce yourself from the impact of your actions.
Delaware Republicans demanding a response over Representative Parker Selby's absence ahead of a jam-packed Thursday agenda in the State House.
Middle East deals. President Trump hints at a trip to Turkey today in the attempt to end the war in Ukraine.
Meters hit beaches. We break down the paid parking season going into effect for many coastal communities.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And it is Thursday, May 15th, 2025. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, Lisa, there was a moment yesterday.
There was a moment.
Yeah, afternoon. The
Yes.
sun was out. It was a brief moment.
It was very brief,
But
yes.
I did see the sun.
But we did not have to sprint into the building this morning because it was downpouring, so that is a plus.
That's a win.
Yes, that is a win. It was just a little bit foggy when I was driving
Yeah, there's
in.
some fog out there.
There
A little
is.
murky out there, Bob.
Yeah.
Just a kind of a soupy Thursday.
Soupy. Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, soupy, murky, whatever you call it. Yeah, it's foggy. And yesterday, we had the sun, and we also had some storms, too. Big rainmakers around Millsboro, western Sussex County. But this morning, we're looking at fog. 3 miles in Georgetown, 4 miles in fog in Ocean City, 7 in Salisbury. So take it slow out there. We're seeing showers. That tends to lift the fog. We're seeing that now right up US 13 from Bridgeville to Seaford and Delmar. Even some heavy rain moving into Salisbury now. So watch for quick flooding, ponding on the roads there. And that system is moving to the north right now. You can see that heavy rain between Quantico and Salisbury. Crisfield also seeing some showers too as this is lifting to the north. You can see this spin now over Washington, D.C. That is low pressure that's lifting to the north and east, and that's why we're seeing the rain. And hopefully the system, this is the last of it, or we're getting close to the end of it as it's lifting off to the northeast. Temperatures out the door, mild and muggy temperatures in the mid-60s, 65 in Dagsboro, Georgetown, and Laurel, 63 in Salisbury. A light breeze out of the south. So we've got the fog this morning. Pack your patience, drive with caution. We've got some showers, some areas of drizzle as well. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, feeling warmer than these readings because of the humidity. By afternoon, maybe some low 80s well inland, and still that ever-present chance of a shower or thunderstorm as we go into the evening hours. So rather murky day with temperatures into the 70s with the rain, still some rain lingering into a part of the week and then finally drying out. I'll have much more on your forecast a little bit later in the newscast.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Let's take a look at some of what Bob's been talking about. This is a live look, folks, of Milford. You can see lots of fogs there. You can barely see those streetlights at the bottom of your screen. So as we said earlier, this is a soupy start to our Thursday. Our top story this Thursday morning is the third and final day this week that the Delaware General Assembly will meet in Dover. There are 5 pieces of legislation on the agenda in the House of Representatives, and in a story that we've been covering all year, the Democratic representative from District 20 continues to be a no-show. CoastTV initially learned about Still Parker Selby's year-long absence after state Republicans sent a letter to the House leadership asking for transparency about Parker Selby's absence. One of the people that wrote that letter was Sussex County Republican Chair Daniel Willis.
The motivating factor for initially sending out the letter to continuing to apply pressure behind the scenes to our legislators to get answers, to get clear answers. And ultimately, with this interview, can be summarized in the quote, "The footprint is as big as the shoe. You cannot divorce yourself from the impact of your actions, or in this case, in the Democrat Party, the inaction."
And one of the bills scheduled for review in the House today could change the way birth certificates are issued in certain assisted reproduction cases. Senate Substitute 1, Senate Bill 119, sponsored by Republican Senator Brian Pettyjohn of Georgetown, directs the state registrar of vital statistics to amend the birth certificate of Levi Ryan Murphy. The measure allows Levi's birth certificate to include the name of his father, Ryan Murray, who died after the embryo was created but before it was implanted. The bill would take effect after it is signed into law.
New this morning, a bill in the Delaware General Assembly is attempting to make it easier for relatives to adopt children formally in state custody. Senate Substitute 1 for Senate Bill 79 offers free legal help to guardians like grandparents, aunts, or siblings who meet certain criteria and want to adopt. The bill is now waiting for a hearing in the Senate Finance Committee.
Happening now, there's several communities along the coast that will begin to enforce paid parking. This includes Dewey Beach, Rehoboth Beach, Bethany Beach, and Fenwick Island, and all will charge for parking starting today to September 15th. Both Dewey and Bethany have increased their rates this year, and not everyone is supportive of that increase.
Why should you pay for parking to go spend $200 when you can go somewhere else and do the same thing and don't pay $0?
And the paid parking season for most coastal communities runs until September. And we have a full guide of 2025 parking season along the coast right now, and you can check that out on CoastTV.com.
Today is the final day for the Back the Blue Caravan event in Delaware. People honoring law enforcement departments on Route 13. This kicks off in Delmarva at 10 a.m. Then at Laurel Junction, Laurel's Police Department will be honored. The caravan then thanks departments in Seaford and Blades. State Police Troop 5 is up after that. That's at the Bridgeville Park Center at 11:45. It's Bridgeville, followed by Greenwood. That's at the Royal Farms. Then it is a Best in Show presentation for the best decorated car participating in this year's event.
And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. this morning. However, President Trump is out of the country as he continues his trip in the Middle East. After signing deals with Qatar, President Trump will make his way to the United Arab Emirates later this morning for the last stop in his Middle East trip.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us how President Trump looks to exert influence in other parts of the region and in foreign conflicts.
When you took it over, it was
President Trump meeting with business leaders in Qatar this morning.
I can tell you that our country is hot. It's hot as a pistol.
Before visiting troops at the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East. Both settings underscoring the strategic importance of a nation President Trump has also criticized over its close ties with Hamas. On Wednesday, a deal announced for Qatar to buy up to 210 Boeing jets from the U.S., a new record and part of what the White House says is a broader $243 billion in new Qatari investment in the U.S.
We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. You're buying a lot of that equipment, actually.
That as Qatar's prime minister dismissed the controversy over President Trump's plan to accept a gifted luxury jet to be used as Air Force One.
This is a very simple government-to-government dealing.
The plane expected to transfer to the Trump Presidential Library at the end of his term. Lawmakers in both parties raising serious concerns about accepting a $400 million foreign gift.
I can think of a lot of other things Qatar could do for us, like, for example, quit harboring Islamic jihadist terrorists who are trying to kill Americans.
President Trump headed today for the United Arab Emirates, the final leg of his Middle Eastern trip. That's included efforts to push Iran toward a nuclear deal. A top advisor to Iran's supreme leader telling NBC's Richard Engel Iran is willing to commit to never having a nuclear weapon in order to lift crippling sanctions.
Yes, we are ready.
All as some of President Trump's top aides traveled to Turkey for direct peace talks between Moscow and Kyiv, aimed at ending Russia's war on Ukraine. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Coming up, competition strengthens community. How Millsboro's police plan to do just that this weekend.
Also, Referendum Review will tell you how much an Indian River referendum could cost locals.
And pushing for wetlands protection, the inspiration from environmental areas in Millsboro. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Wetlands in Millsboro. It's the inspiration for one author's book. According to the state, Sussex County is the fastest growing county in the state, but there are parts of it that are slow and steady, home to things like fish and birds and also wetlands. In today's Coastal Connections, reporter Zakiya Jennings tells us the story of one author looking to inspire kids and try to teach them about those wetlands along the way.
If wetlands continue to disappear, what will happen to the places?
Mary Barnaby is reading her new children's book called Exploring Wetlands while standing in the inspiration for her book. Barnaby says after she retired, she had time to pursue her childhood dream of becoming an author.
Now's my chance. Now I can actually write about things I'm passionate about.
Barnaby says the first step of protecting wetlands is examining future growth.
Development has to be very carefully controlled, done with a lot of understanding of nature and the environment and what the unintended consequences will be of that development in years to come.
Step 2 is acknowledging how we all benefit from wetlands.
I think that the value of these wetlands, though, sometimes is just underrated. First of all, they protect us against flooding.
Step 3 is involving young minds.
I wanted to write this book so I could educate and create champions among young children for protecting our wetlands.
The book includes pictures and a journal at the end of every chapter for kids to reflect on what they've learned. Barnaby encourages people to visit their local bookstore to take a look at her book. However, Barnaby says her sales aren't the most important part of the story. Awareness is.
You can bring back a wetland, but why lose it in the first place? Why let it go? So I think that I just want people to, as they drive by wetlands, to appreciate them for what they're doing for all of us.
Barnaby hopes that children and even adults will turn the pages of her books, Exploring Wetlands and My Blue Heron, and turn to new ideas on how to better protect our environment that we share. For Coastal Connections, Zakia Jennings, Coast TV News.
Time is 5:15, and we are checking out the live scene at the canal in Lewis. We're getting a look at the visibility there. It looks okay-ish, but Bob, we know there's some heavier fog areas in other parts of our area.
There are, especially over the water, Matt. That water is still really cold, and we have the warm, muggy air over the top. So boaters and folks along the coast, there is a dense marine fog advisory until 9 a.m. from Ocean Pines through Ocean View, Little Assawoman Bay up to Delaware Bay in the Atlantic Ocean, too, where visibility could be 0. And inland, it's 1.75 miles in fog in Georgetown, 4 miles in Ocean City. It's higher in Salisbury. I think the reason is because it's raining right now there. And we continue those rain chances today and tomorrow, about a 50% chance of rain. It does go down on Saturday, but still a chance of afternoon storms. And though we do dry it out Sunday into early next week. And here are those showers, and they're good in a way because they do lift the fog. Andrewsville to Seaford to Laurel, Reeds Grove, Mardella Springs, and we've seen heavy rain right around Salisbury. So pack your patience this morning. Ponding on the roads, maybe some flooding in poor drainage areas as these yellow areas indicating that heavier rain. And even to the south and west, Nanticoke down to Crisfield, you're seeing some of those heavier showers as well. It's all because of low pressure spinning over our nation's capital right now with low pressure. You can see the spin right here, sucking up that moisture on the eastern side. So we'll continue to see that as this low slowly moves away. And this whole system is slowly moving to the north and east. So we will start to see gradually improving conditions over the next few days. Mid-60s out the door. Remember the umbrella, 65 in Laurel, Dagsboro 65, Indian River Inlet at 62, and a light southerly breeze. So we're still looking at widely scattered to scattered showers and storms today and tomorrow. A slightly lower chance Saturday, but with a cold front, I still think we're looking at that storm chance, and then it dries out Sunday into early next week, and then by middle of next week, another chance of seeing those showers and storms. So we have the fog, some of those showers this morning. Otherwise, more fog, hopefully lifting by noon, and some peaks of sun. It's going to be mild and muggy, lower 80s inland, and still that chance of showers and storms with the afternoon heating. We saw some cloudbursts yesterday, a very heavy rain. We could see the same thing this afternoon. And then this evening, clearing out, we could be seeing some more fog as we go into Friday morning, and maybe some drizzle. Temperatures in the 60s and even warmer into Friday, with temperatures on this model into the mid to upper 80s. And we could be looking at some storms as well on into Friday. Heavy rain and gusty winds, and we're not done there because we move into Saturday. Remember, we have Preakness and Baltimore. Could be a little stormy, definitely warm and muggy, and by afternoon with a cold front, could be looking at gusty storms, maybe some strong damaging winds and some hail. And then much better heading into Sunday as the winds turn to the west. As far as the threat for severe weather today, we're not looking at that, that, but with an afternoon storm, definitely could see some gusty winds and small hail. And we definitely could tack on more rain on top of what we've already seen. Some places already picking up over an inch the last several days, maybe another half inch to an inch before it's all said and done. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, still unsettled today into the weekend. 79 today, 84 Friday, then 88 Saturday, feeling like summer. Muggy, late day storms, and still a storm chance possible on Sunday, but I think it is drying out by that time, 79. And then next week, cooling down. In fact, by Wednesday, low 70s and overnight lows into the 50s. That will be refreshing. Congratulations to Chris Mahoney. He is an umbrella winner today. Good timing, Chris. He's from Dewey Beach, and congratulations to him from Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Paul Davis and CoastTV.
All right. Thank you, Bob. We have an update on a story that we've been covering. The Indian River School District is holding a second budget referendum. And this vote is scheduled for June 5th. That's just 3 months after the first one failed. District officials are looking to raise $22.5 million, which they say averages out to about $269 per taxpayer per year. According to district officials, it would help fund operating costs, but people living in the school district have mixed opinions on where that money should come from.
My kids are all grown, but I believe that we've got to support education, we've got to support the teachers, we've got to support the schools.
It would be better if they looked into anything other than turning to us, would really help us. Everybody turns to us.
And there are 2 public meetings left before the vote. The next one is Wednesday, May 21st at Lord Baltimore Elementary School, and then the last one is Wednesday, May 28th at Indian River High School.
A road closure in Salisbury is going to last a little longer. The Wicomico County Health Department is conducting roof repairs at its facility. As a result, the alleyway section of Camden Street between the Circle Avenue garage and the Health Department building have been closed off since the beginning of this month. This closure was expected to end on May 19th, but now officials say it will end on May 27th.
Today in Fenwick Island, officials will consider updates to its summer kickoff at the Planning Commission meeting. According to the agenda there, the Cruising Together in Fenwick event, that's set to take place on May 31st at Town Hall. Also, there's going to be a discussion on the Municipal Comprehensive Land Use Plan. Again, this meeting takes place just a few hours from now at 9 a.m.
Up next, competition strengthens community. We'll tell you how Millsboro police say a basketball game could build bonds with locals. We'll be right back. This Saturday at 9 a.m., the Millsboro Police Department is hosting their second annual Borough Hoops 3v3 tournament. Senior Corporal John Wharton says this is a great opportunity for people to enjoy a fun and competitive game of basketball and bond with the community.
Let's use something that's on our own property and bring people here together for a fun, competitive game that we all love.
And Wharton says there will be food trucks and EMS on standby. The sign up, Wharton says, to go to the Millsboro Police Department website. And that, sadly, not another good beach day. It's dreary outside, muggy, good for shopping, like we said yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like, Bob, there will be a day in our future that we won't be talking about the rain and the shopping, and that we can actually enjoy hanging out outside.
That day may not be until Monday or Sunday. So, it's going to be a few days yet as we have these muggy conditions. But hey, restaurant owners are happy, store owners are happy, little retail therapy. But watch out, we've got some fog, especially thick inland bays, Delaware Bay, Atlantic Ocean, dense marine fog advisory until 9 a.m. Chincoteague and Assateague, lots of clouds, lower 70s this afternoon. When the sun comes out, that UV index will be moderate, so be careful out there. Waves around 2 to 4 feet. Can't rule out a few showers in Fenwick Island. Ocean City as well. We have the fog and maybe some sprinkles there. On the Bayside today, we're looking at temperatures into the 70s. Still that chance of a shower or storm. And similar conditions in Crisfield, maybe just a little cooler for you. We continue the unsettled pattern, I think, into the first half of the weekend, and then things finally drying out. Much more on your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
And after the break on CoastTV News today, Power Under Pressure, we'll tell you how the Supreme Court will consider the authority of lower court judges and what major executive order this is tied to.
Also, paid parking starts, how the season looks a little different this year on the coast.
And Republicans inquire about representative. We'll tell you the latest at Legislative Hall. CoastTV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on Coast TV News.
Watch for fog and limited visibility this morning. Otherwise, more showers during the day and still that chance of some storms in the next few days. And they linger into a part of the weekend, then starting to dry out. Your full forecast details coming up next.
No-show Stell. With just over a month left in Delaware's General Assembly session, state Republicans continue demanding answers on Representative Parker Selby's absence.
Beach parking begins. We have the coastal communities that are scheduled to turn on their parking meters today for the summer season.
Ride Remembrance.
I knew that I was going to ride for him.
The event honoring EMS workers who lost their lives in the line of duty.
This is Coast TV News Today.
May 15th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
And the time is 5:29. Lots and lots of wet weather. And now we're dealing with another round of fog.
Yes, need to be careful as you drive in this morning because on top of that fog, saw a lot of deer. It's a great combo.
I know Bob is referencing the past. He's seen critters on the road.
Critters.
I think that's the technical term for it.
I think so. I saw a lot of critters this morning, Bob, especially with that fog. You gotta go slow.
Yeah, you know, it's tough enough driving in the middle of the night, dealing with the critters with good visibility. Then you add the fog and the rain with the critters. Makes it really tough. So just drive with caution out there. Leave extra time to get to your destination. 3 miles in fog in Georgetown, 4 in Ocean City, 7 in Salisbury. I think it's better there because we've been seeing some rain in Salisbury and western Sussex County from Bridgeville down to Laurel and Delmarva. Right down 13, you're looking at some rain now. Heavier rain in Salisbury, that's going to let up here as we're seeing that moving into the Delmar area. Nanacoke and back to areas like Westover and back to Crisfield, you've been seeing those showers as well. And still more showers across the eastern shore. You can see the swirl right here. It's low pressure now moving into western Maryland, and that's why we're seeing the unsettled weather, and this system will slowly move out of here the next couple of days as we're looking at 60s out the door. It's muggy, winds are light, but we're still looking at the fog and showers this morning. Temperatures in the 60s, breaks in the overcast this afternoon, lower 80s inland, 60s and 70s closer to the beaches, and watch for a gusty thunderstorm as we go into the evening hours. So be careful out there. Fog and showers this morning. I gave it the yellow light for that. Fog lifts this afternoon, but still that chance of a shower or storm as we go into the afternoon and evening.
Thank you, Bob. And we have been tracking that fog here. We're going to take a live look outside at Salisbury. We can see some of the lights, but not the clearest visibility with that fog. And again, we said as we were driving in this morning, you need to be cautious of that fog and go slowly due to limited visibility. And our top story this half hour is the demand by Delaware Republicans for answers about the absence of District 20 Representative Stell Parker Selby. This comes with a busy Thursday agenda in the House. Thursday is the 29th working day this year in the General Assembly. Parker Selby has missed the previous 28, meaning people living in her district have not had representation all year at Legislative Hall. While state Republicans are expressing frustration over the lack of answers, they told Coast TV News that there are no plans for another letter to the House leadership on Parker Selby's absence.
Now, one of the bills that the Delaware House will consider today could change the way birth certificates are issued in certain assisted reproduction cases. The Senate version of this is sponsored by Republican Brian Pettyjohn of Georgetown. It directs the state registrar of vital statistics to amend the birth certificate of Levi Ryan Murray. This is to include the name of his father, Ryan Murray, who died after the embryo was created but before it was implanted. The bill will take effect after it is signed into law.
A bill introduced in the Delaware General Assembly attempts to make it easier for relatives to adopt children formally in state custody. Senate Substitute 1 for Senate Bill 79 would offer free legal help to guardians like grandparents, aunts, or siblings who meet certain criteria and want to adopt. The bill is now waiting for a hearing in the Senate Finance Committee.
It is that time of the year. Many coastal communities are beginning to enforce paid parking. That includes Dewey Beach, Rehoboth Beach, Bethany Beach, and Fenwick Island. All will charge parking starting today to September 15th. Rehoboth Beach is one of the coastal communities that has increased their rates this year, and as expected, not everyone is supporting the change.
I think people would be better off learning the DART system and not to have to worry about whether their car was going to be towed or whether their car was in an area where they'd be ticketed.
And Rehoboth Beach has considered extending the season, but ultimately they decided against it. Paid parking season for most coastal communities runs until September.
The National EMS Memorial Bike Ride has been pedaling its way down the East Coast, and on Wednesday, riders made a stop in Georgetown. The nonprofit pays tribute to hundreds of EMS workers who lost their lives in the line of duty, including Georgetown and Ellendale firefighter and EMT Thomas Berry III.
Berry was killed last August while helping someone at the scene of an accident. CoastTV photojournalist Matt Hipsman shows us the emotion from this ceremony.
So the National EMS Memorial Bike Ride celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. We have conducted a ride each year in memory of EMS providers, EMTs, paramedics, first responders, anybody who's been active in EMS service and has an EMS certification.
When Thomas tragically died in August, I knew that I was going to ride for him.
Once a Sussex County paramedic, you're part of our family and you're part of our family forever. So having them, remembered, memorialized in a manner like this is just something that just even further ingrains, their memory with us and as part of this organization.
Thomas's passing, an accident, rippled throughout the state. And it just shows how fragile life is, how dangerous our jobs are.
Thomas, I knew personally. His mother, I love her. She's my soul sister. Nothing was going to stop me from riding, and I was riding specifically for Thomas.
Yeah, one night, Dave Martin.
Today is also the final day for the Back the Blue Caravan event in Delaware. People will honor law enforcement departments on Route 13. This kicks off at Delmarva at 10 a.m. Then at the Laurel Junction, Laurel's Police Department will be honored. Caravan will then thank the departments in Seaford and Blades. State Police Troop 5 is up after that at the Bridgeville Park Center. At 11:45, it's Bridgeville, followed by Greenwood. That one's at the Royal Farms. And then we have the Best in Show presentation for the best decorated car participating in this year's event.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. A case before the Supreme Court today could have wide-ranging consequences for President Donald Trump's agenda. And it involves his executive order seeking to end birthright citizenship. Most legal scholars say it's unconstitutional, but that's not what justices are considering today. Instead, experts say they're poised to weigh in on whether lower court judges should be able to issue nationwide injunctions. They've blocked a number of Trump's policies, and he argues lower court judges shouldn't have so much power. Several Democratic attorney generals involved in the case argue this would be a bad time to limit judicial authority.
That really leads to this whole question of venue shopping and everything else, and where you want to bring your case and in front of what judge.
And right now, universal injunctions are blocking numerous Trump policies.
Looks like peace talks between Russia and Ukraine will be missing a key element. Vladimir Putin, the Kremlin confirmed its president, will not attend the talks slated to take place in Turkey. The announcement likely means Volodymyr Zelensky will reconsider his attendance. Even without the leaders, a meeting between Russia and Ukraine would mark progress. The nations have not held direct talks since Russia invaded Ukraine more than 3 years ago. We still have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, birds take on new flight. We'll show you the new life of birds rescued after a shipping mishap.
Also, state quarterfinal competition, the disappointing end to Stephen Decatur's girls lacrosse season.
And manager pay pressure. We'll tell you about the debate in Milford after officials already approved a salary. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
It is 5:40 on this murky Thursday morning. Gutter helmet cam showing, look at this, a little bit of blue sky. You see the sun starting to come up. It's coming up in about 10 minutes, and maybe we'll see some glimpses of that. Otherwise, it is kind of murky. Still seeing patchy fog, 6 miles in fog in Georgetown and Ocean City. Thicker fog offshore, too. We're seeing the showers now, western Sussex County, from Delmarva to Bridgeville. Salisbury, you had some heavier showers. Now that's beginning to move to your north as we're seeing a few more showers to the south and west and will continue in this unsettled pattern with low pressure spinning to our west. That keeps the showers going on and off throughout the day. Golf forecast, my putting not so hot again. But better than yesterday. I put it in the fair category, muggy and mild with scattered showers and a few thunderstorms from time to time. And for your latest forecast, call the Coast TV First Alert Weather Phone, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
Happening today, the Flood Vision team is in Milton this morning, showing locals what future flooding could look like. Flood Vision has teamed up with Delaware Sea Grant to show locals how flood risk could affect the area. The organizations are using technology to generate realistic images of potential flooding, all to support community resilience planning. The event runs from 10 to 11:30 this morning at Milton Memorial Park.
In Milford, the pay for the next city manager, that is stirring up some controversy. In a 4-3 vote, the city council approved a $195,000 starting salary for the current candidate. Officials say they initially offered $180,000, but the candidate asked for more than that. Those in favor of the payment say it's justified by the candidate's 30 years of experience. Those against it say $195,000, that's just too much for a city manager in a city the size of Milford.
Just like any purchase you make in life or whatever you do, you should get most value for your money. And in this case, it's not my money, it's the taxpayer money. And we had plenty of good candidates to choose from. I don't think we need to go this high.
Councilwoman Nadia Zeichel voted in favor of that $195,000 salary. She says the complexity of the job and the city's growth are part of her decision.
New today, Long Neck is preparing to welcome a new location for one Delmarva business. Old World Breads is opening shop on Long Neck Road. According to the business, this new location will offer cedar seating for locals to stay a while and enjoy lunch.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
What's going on, sports fans? A battle between the Buccaneers and Seahawks in girls lacrosse in a win or go home game. Ken Island versus Stephen Decatur in girls lax. Winner will advance to the state semifinals. 10:04 left to go in the first quarter of action. Kara Steele gets the quick stick to make it 1-0. Kent Island. 9:11 to go in the first. Caroline Levin able to find Twine. It's 2-0. Now 3:42 in the first quarter of action. Lowe Manilinski gets Decatur on the board with this goal. 4-1 though. Ken Island still ahead. 2:13 to go in the first. Ken Island gets another from Willow Yoist, making it 5-1. 10:10 to go in quarter number 2. Layla Pascucci gets a goal back for Decatur, making it 5-2. Moving on, Haley Offutt doing her thing from free position, gets it to go with 4:24 to go in the second. Moving to the second half of action, 11:48 left in the third. Yoist gets the goal to make it 8-3 Bucks lead. Offutt yet again doing everything in this contest, finds the back of the net. 11-4 Ken Island with 5:11 to go in the third, and the Bucks would go on to win 16-5 and advance to the MPSSAA state semifinals. That's all for sports. Have a great day, everybody.
Up tonight on DSN at 4, we have Delaware High School baseball. Cape travels to St. Mark's. Got another episode of Into the Trenches at 7:30, and at 10:30, it is the final score. Let's go over to the DSM Plus app. Along with that Cape baseball game, you can watch Seaford hosting Saints Peter and Paul in softball. That's at 4. At 4:15, got plenty of high school baseball for you. Sussex Tech hosts Middletown. Laurel hosts Cesar Rodney. Lake Forest takes on Dover.
Movie and streaming news now. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
The newest clip from the next season of Bridgerton finds Benedict Bridgerton spotting the mysterious Lady in Silver, Sophie, at a masquerade ball. Season 4 of the Regency romance series is due out next year, and Netflix has already renewed the show for seasons 5 and 6. Denzel Washington is set to star in Here Comes the Flood, described as an unconventional heist movie filled with cons and double crosses. Robert Pattinson is also on board for the crime thriller, as is Daisy Edgar Jones. Production is due to begin this fall.
According to these, please, you'll be all right. All from the sidewalk, son.
We give up our soul in order to get a deaf president.
Deaf President Now chronicles a civil rights battle in 1988 when deaf students at Gallaudet University rebelled after the school's board appointed a hearing president over 2 deaf candidates. The week-long protest led to Gallaudet's first deaf president and helped pave the way for the Americans with Disabilities Act. The documentary Deaf President Now debuts Friday on Apple TV+. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
A lot of us are seeing fog and some showers out there, but some bright spots too in the overcast in Laurel right now, and we are watching for that fog and some of those showers this morning. The fog will lift, but the showers continue, and still a chance of a storm as we head into this afternoon and into a part of the weekend as well, then finally drying out. I'll have your forecast details coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is now 5:48, and we are taking a live look outside at Rehoboth Beach this morning. And Bob, if people want to walk on the boardwalk this morning, a little muggy outside, as we can see, it is foggy there. It's not pouring like it was yesterday morning, so that is a plus.
No, and that boardwalk could be a little slippery too, Lisa. So make sure you have some grippies on the bottom of your sneakers or shoes to make sure you don't slip there. We do have a dense marine fog advisory right along the coast, including the Atlantic Ocean, Delaware Bay too. That goes until 9 a.m. because of the cold ocean water. Your visibility will be a little lower there, but it is improving inland areas. About 6 to 7 miles now. It was much lower earlier on. I think the rain is helping to lift some of that fog. We are seeing some showers, not especially heavy, from Bridgeville back through Georgetown, Laurel, into the Delmarva area too. Salisbury had some heavier showers earlier. You're getting a little break now, but Quantico to your west seeing some showers, and a few more down into the Crisfield area as we're seeing low pressure spinning to our northwest. On the east side, we're seeing the moisture coming up in the form of showers and fog, and that low pressure area is slowly moving to the northeast, and this whole system with an upper level low back to the west is slowly moving to the northeast and weakening, but it's going to be a process. It's going to take a couple of days before we dry out, and rain chances the next few days, still scattered chances today, isolated to widely scattered as we go through tonight, and then still some scattered showers and storms as we go into Friday, and I think even into Saturday with a cold front, still some storms. Then we dry it out Sunday into early next week, still another chance of rain by the middle part of next week. Out the door, we're looking at temperatures lower 60s from Lewis down to Bethany Beach, inland areas into the mid 60s. Really not much in the way of wind, just lots of clouds. Here's Futurecast at 7 a.m. Still some pockets of showers, drizzle, some fog as well. Temperatures into the 60s. By the noon hour, I think we'll see some more breaks in the overcast with temperatures in the 70s, but cooler at the coast. And with afternoon heating, maybe lower 80s well inland. Watch for some pop-up showers and storms, maybe some brief heavy rain and gusty winds. But once the sun goes down, the showers should go away, but we could be looking at fog redeveloping again by Friday morning with temperatures in the 60s, and then even warmer heading into Friday with temperatures well into the 80s, inland areas, 60s and 70s at the beaches. And we could be looking at some heavy thunderstorms as we go into the afternoon, some of those with gusty winds. But then it looks like by Friday evening, it looks like conditions do start to quiet down once the sun goes down. But we're not done. As we head into Saturday, we're looking at a cold front that will bring another round of showers and storms across Delmarva. These could be severe. We'll be watching those. But then with the westerly breeze, we do start to dry things out on Sunday. Not looking at severe weather for today, but we can't rule out heavy rain and gusty winds with some of those storms later on. And we could tack on another third of an inch to close to an inch of rain, depending on if you get under one of those heavier thunderstorms the next couple of days. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 79 today with the showers and the storms as well. And those storms linger into Friday, 84 degrees, and still some storms isolated to scattered on Saturday, 88, and then finally drying out by Sunday, a high of 79. And notice how the temperatures trend downward as we go into next week. It's cooler and drier. 76 Monday, and then down to 71 for a high on Wednesday with lows into the 50s.
Earlier this month, thousands of baby birds destined for various states ended up stranded at a Delaware distribution center. After a shipping mishap, they now fill this first state animal center. The animal center, which was caring for the 4,000 survivors, says it hasn't received any compensation from the Delaware Department of Agriculture, despite an agreement outlining intake fees.
We have to pay staffing, medical, veterinary bills, feeding, getting animals up to speed for adoption, and then the manpower to get them adopted. So what goes on after the fact, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
The birds are now up for adoption, going for $3 a bird. The Animal Center says if they don't reach an agreement with the Department of Agriculture over this money, they won't help the state in the future.
Boeing has secured a deal with Qatar for up to 210 jets worth $96 billion. The White House is calling it the aircraft maker's largest ever wide-body order. President Trump was in Doha Wednesday, where the sale was announced. It's part of the economic deals totaling more than $243 billion between the U.S. and Qatar.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting Dick's Sporting Goods is nearing a deal to buy Foot Locker, citing sources. The outlet says the deal would be for a $2.3 billion. According to the report, the deal could be finalized as soon as today, and the potential deal would allow Dick's Sporting Goods to expand outside the U.S. But first, the time is 5:53, and we are going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Today's coastal pet of the day is a strong pup on your screen. That is Tink, and Tink is healing from a fall, so we are wishing Tink a very speedy recovery. Tink was submitted to us by Laura in Ocean City.
Aw, Tink, we hope you get better, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
If you do that, top center, that's a QR code. Scan it, and you can get your friends to us at Coast TV News. Then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 5:56. We're going to take another look at your forecast before you head out the door.
Bob, you've been tracking fog and rain this morning.
He's busy.
I am busy. I'm very busy. Yeah, no, we were looking at fog, not especially dense, and we're looking at showers. They were a little heavier earlier. Now they're just kind of scattered around Delmarva, so watch for that this morning. Drive with caution, limited visibility, lots of clouds. I think we'll see some peaks of sun today, but looks like more showers possible into the afternoon. I'm going with a high around 79, being optimistic. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, still some showers and storms Friday and Saturday. 84 Friday, 88 Saturday. Some of those storms could be severe on Saturday and then drying out Sunday. Dry through Wednesday, turning cooler. That's nice. Then another rain chance by next Thursday and Friday.
Thank you, Bob. Coming up in our next hour, Parking Patrol starts. The coastal communities set to trigger their fee season this morning. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.